He's a tough man. He's a great fighter, and I respect him.
What did you do in the first round that made you know that you were mistaken?
You guys saw. You guys saw what I was in there tonight. Yeah, I thought that, you know, once those bright lights hit and that round went and, you know, I was in there, that, you know, I'd find something. And I tried hard, but it wasn't there. And Conor was strong, and he was fast, and he was tough.
Tried my best, and listen, the kid fought hard, he fought tough. He's got power, this kid. You know, he was bigger than me on the scouts. I don't know how you did it. I'm looking at him, he's 168. I'm like, what the hell's going on? But listen, we put on a show.
Chris Eubank Jr. breaks silence on Conor Benn's terrifying power and says he looked into Benn's eyes and knew he was up for it. He could sense the intensity, the fire, and he knew from the first round this wasn't going to be an easy fight.
I looked into his eyes. He's up for it.
Johnny Nelson points out that Chris Eubank Jr. gave everything he had in the previous fight, and he sees no more improvement left. Even with the weight issues and all the buildup, Nelson believes Chris has reached his ceiling and there's nothing new to elevate his game.
Chris will give himself every possible chance that's going, but in reality, you know, personally, I just think the last performance of Chris, I thought, you've got nothing left. You've got nothing. There's no more improvement on what I'm seeing there. And I know there was a weight issue and all the build-up to it. I thought this.
Chris Eubank Jr. acknowledges that tonight was all about Conor Benn and admits he did what was needed to win. He praises Benn's toughness and recognizes the challenge he faced, showing respect while reflecting on his own efforts in the ring.
This night's about Conor. He did what he needed to do to win. He fought a great fight, and I'm not here to talk about me. He is
Eddie Hearn is amazed by Conor Benn's control and intelligence inside the ring. He points out that Benn's focus allowed him to handle every round smartly while maintaining excitement. This performance confirms Benn as the rising star of British boxing and a serious threat at any level.
No need for a trilogy, no?
No, we want to move back there. Conor's the new star of British boxing, you know what I mean? Look, he's filled Tottenham twice, and, you know, he needed to be a bit smarter there. You know how exciting he is, but he just needed every round. I was just saying to him, just concentrate, please, just concentrate.
Chris Eubank Jr. admits he believed he could overcome his challenges and beat Conor Benn using his boxing skills. Despite his confidence, Benn's performance proved difficult to match. This shows Eubank's respect for Benn's power and tactical execution, while reflecting on the tough fight he endured.
Genuinely thought that regardless of the issues that I've been dealing with, I would be able to go in there and win. Use my boxing skills, use what you guys saw in that first fight to beat Conor Benn.
Conor Benn reflects on the rematch talk and suggests it might be time to leave things as they are. He emphasizes the success of selling out the stadium twice and the completion of what the fight promised, showing satisfaction with his achievement and legacy.
I can see him having a rematch again, or asking for a rematch, but ultimately, I think we should just let it lie now. No, just let it lie. We've done what we have to do. We sold our stadium twice. We done what it said it was going to do on the tip.
Adam Smith praises Conor Benn's boxing intelligence, highlighting his jab and body work as key factors. Benn's movement and strategy allowed him to dominate, while Chris Eubank Jr. looked slow and flat. This contrast showed why Benn controlled the fight from start to finish.
Yeah, that's sort of what everyone's saying. I think that Conor Benn boxed really well. I thought he was smart behind the jab. I thought his jabs were excellent tonight to head and to body. I thought his body shots were good. His movement, I mean, Conor Benn put a standout performance on. If you look at Chris, I thought he looked flat. I thought he was sort of stuck in them.
Carl Froch notes that Chris Eubank Jr. takes his time and tries to be precise, but tonight he overcomplicated his own points. This reflected a cautious approach in the ring, which couldn't match the simplicity and precision of Conor Benn's strategy, leaving Eubank struggling to assert dominance.
I think you know what Chris is like. He takes his time, which isn't a bad thing. He tries to be articulate, and he sort of overspoke the point he was making for a check.
Liam Goff is critical of Chris Eubank Jr., saying he looked awful and questioning his next move. Meanwhile, Conor Benn is praised for his performance and potential to return to welterweight and continue his rise. This highlights the contrast in momentum between the two fighters.
Done now twice, we should never see a trilogy, and honestly, Chris Eubank Jr., I don't know what he does. He looked awful. Absolutely awful in there. As for Conor Benn, listen, if you can get back down to welterweight, get back down.
Shane McGuigan believes Chris Eubank Jr. still has plenty left in the tank despite the loss to Conor Benn. He points out that with a proper training camp and disciplined focus, Eubank can box smart behind his jab and regain control in the ring. The potential for a late stoppage win shows that his power and technique remain dangerous. Even though Benn was dominant, McGuigan's analysis reminds fans that Eubank is far from done and that a fully prepared Chris could turn any fight into a very different story. His experience and skill cannot be underestimated.
Eubank is the one that's going to go for, if he goes for a proper training camp, boxes a little bit behind his jab, I think he'll get the win. Maybe a stoppage late.
Derek Chisora reflects on the fight as an exciting spectacle, but emphasizes that it should remain a one-off event. He suggests that the drama and tension of that night are complete, and there is no need for repetition. This commentary underlines the magnitude of Conor Benn's achievement in controlling the fight and finishing strong. Chisora appreciates the skill and effort involved, but also signals respect for Finality, showing that Benn's performance has set a standard and created closure. For fans, it reinforces the memory of an unforgettable night while keeping the focus on the skill and discipline displayed in the ring.
It was great, but are we gonna see that again? Do you want to see that again? No. It's done 1-1, that's it, leave it like that.
Nigel Benn is firm and resolute about the outcome. He declares that the fight is over and there is no need to chase a trilogy. His commentary reflects maturity and a focus on legacy rather than prolonging rivalries. He makes it clear that the next generation will not be burdened by the same ongoing conflicts. Benn's perspective shows respect for the achievement of Conor Benn and acknowledges the finality of the victory. This statement reinforces how decisive Benn's performance was and emphasizes the importance of moving forward while appreciating the skill and determination demonstrated inside the ring.
It's over with. I don't think, yeah, we beat the Eubanks. It doesn't bother me. I'm a bit more mature than that.
The grandchildren ain't having the sort of trilogy of the legacies.
No, we don't want that no more, mate. It's over with. Done.
Johnny Nelson explains that Conor Benn entered the fight with confidence and full awareness of his capabilities, while Chris Eubank Jr. tried to replicate past strategies. Chris depleted the advantages he had in the first fight and misjudged how much he could get away with. Benn's approach was methodical, applying relentless pressure and exploiting every weakness. Nelson's commentary highlights the harsh realities of boxing, where physical and tactical disadvantages are punished immediately. The fight became a lesson in preparation, stamina, and strategy, showing that Benn's discipline and intelligence allowed him to dominate a skilled but overextended opponent.
I'm not sure what I can get away with from the last fight. For Chris, the pendulum is, which rinsed himself down that much, he's thinking he can do it again. As I said, anybody can get down to the weight, it's what you can do with the weight. Boxing's the worst place to be if you aren't going to put yourself at a disadvantage, because it's the only place you can legally get killed. And so what Chris did was, Chris depleted any advantage he had.
Dave Allen delivers a measured analysis of the fight. He acknowledges Conor Benn's win over a weakened Chris Eubank Jr., but remains cautious about claiming dominance at 147 pounds. Allen points out that the champions in the division are not top-tier A-level fighters, suggesting that Benn still has challenges ahead if he wants to establish himself at world level. Comparing Benn to Nigel Benn's era emphasizes the difference in pace and skill, and Allen suggests that while Conor impressed, there is still room for growth. This commentary balances respect for Benn's performance with realistic insight into the next hurdles he faces.
Can't take anything away from it. He lost to a faded Eubank, and then he just beat a shot to bits one. That don't make that. He's not 147. He's not 147 champion elect on the back of that.
No, can he win a world title at 147 now though?
Maybe, but the champions aren't. They're not A-level champions. They're like the B-level champions. Barrios, Crocker, they're very good fighters. Well, they're not great fighters, but I'm still not sure he'll beat him. I don't think Conor Benn's a fantastic boxer. Nigel Benn, 1990, Nigel Benn would have flying Chris Eubank Jr. in one round tonight. That's the
Dominic Ingle suggests that Chris Eubank Jr. lacked the fire and drive needed to win against Conor Benn. Despite having the chance to equalize the score, Eubank did not bring the same intensity or urgency. Benn controlled the fight mentally and physically, showing his superior preparation and focus. Ingle implies that sometimes fighters lose the hunger that fuels their best performances, and Chris's off night was a result of that missing edge. This fight demonstrated that Benn was the more determined and disciplined fighter, able to exploit his opponent's lack of desire, making the victory deserved and decisive.
I didn't know they were going to have a rematch, and Eubanks had to win. Maybe he's got into this fight, I think, well, if he beats me, it's 1-1, whatever. But he just didn't have that fire in his belly tonight. You know, maybe he's just lost the taste for it. But for me, you know, I don't come to many live events.
Eddie Hearn highlights how Conor Benn dominated every round, controlling the fight with precision and intelligence. Benn boxed smart, kept his emotions in check, and punished Chris Eubank Jr. to the body. Hearn praises the performance as a massive win for the Benn family, showing that moving up in weight did not hinder Benn. The rematch was a statement that Benn can avenge previous defeats and handle pressure at a higher level. His focus, strategy, and execution left no room for Eubank to fight back, proving that Conor Benn is not only powerful but tactically sharp and mentally ready for big nights.
Schooling, really. Won every round, dropped it. I mean, 10 more seconds, the fight's over. Different kind of fight, obviously, to the first fight, but needed to box smart and not use his emotions in there. I thought he boxed really well, busted him up to the body, and yeah, massive win for a welterweight to come up to middleweight and avenge that defeat and finally get a victory for the Benn family in the 4th episode.
Dominic Ingle is critical of Chris Eubank Jr.'s performance, noting that he did not bring his usual energy or mobility to the fight. Benn got the win, but Eubank's absence of activity and poor leg movement made the contest less thrilling. Ingle's observations show that Benn's victory was aided by a lackluster opponent and emphasized the importance of conditioning and commitment. Despite the underwhelming fight, Conor Benn's ability to stay composed and execute his game plan in the final round highlights his skill and discipline. This win confirms Benn's growing status and Eubank's need to reassess his approach for future challenges.
Fortunately, for me, the fight didn't live up to the expectations. I'm extremely underwhelmed how they've pulled that off. Very, very, very poor fight. Disappointing. It came alive in the last round. That's it. The last round it happened, and Conor Benn got the win. You know, rightly so. But Eubanks tonight didn't turn up. Old overnight. His legs weren't in it.
Eddie Hearn praises Conor Benn's performance, emphasizing his control, discipline, and adherence to the game plan. Benn kept his emotions in check and executed flawlessly, which is easier said than done in such high-pressure fights. Chris Eubank Jr.'s challenges were amplified by Benn's focus and tactical precision. Hearn acknowledges Benn's brilliance, showing that the victory was not just about power, but intelligence and patience in the ring. Conor Benn proved he can rise to the occasion, stay composed, and dominate an opponent who has skill and experience, making him a formidable force in British boxing moving forward.
Yeah, easy night's work, and you know, we always knew he could do that, but Conor Benn controlling his emotion and following a game plan is easier said than done. Do you know what I mean? He was brilliant tonight.
The fight has shown us exactly what's at stake in this rivalry, and the clarity of Conor Benn's rise in British boxing is undeniable. Mentally, Benn was sharper, more disciplined, and fully in control, while Chris Eubank Jr. seemed to lack the fire that previously defined his performances. Benn's ability to stick to a game plan, manage his emotions, and capitalize on Eubank's off night proves he wants this more, and is willing to do whatever it takes to secure victory. Eubank still has talent, but tonight highlighted the gap between desire and execution, showing that skill alone isn't enough if the mindset isn't there. Fans now get a clear picture that Benn is the emerging star with composure, power, and tactical brilliance all in one package. Who do you think will bounce back next and challenge Benn's dominance? Let us know your thoughts in the comments and join the debate about what's next for these fighters.